Greetings.
Hello.
I like your headdress.
Thank you.
No phone. Who dis?
This is Jewel.
Why is the lighting off so much? It's so weird. This thing just cannot decide what it wants.
No fun. No fun, no fun.
That's not what I wanted. I wonder. We'll try something different if I can find the stupid. Okay,
all right, I's back. Of course, it's been relatively quiet, and then just as we're starting, oh, hello there, phone call. But I is wearing green. I promises.
There's green on my shirt. Does that count?
Yes. At least it counts to me, so...
I mean, I'm not green Irish, so what the fuck do I care?
I know, you're orange Irish.
Yes, I am.
Don't worry, I won't punch you. It's okay.
Oh, that's not much better. It's so weird.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, Cupcake's no longer shining.
Well, it's almost like this thing doesn't like my overhead lights, but I don't know why. It's not like it's particularly... That's blue. Just looking to see what this does. Yeah, that's pretty good. Good enough. At least I'm not all washed out.
Yep.
Actually, change.
Alright.
I think the neutral light ends up being the best.
Hello and welcome to the super happy fun Jabbertron Tea Party podcast with Kiki, Cupcake, and Miss. Did you remember to wear green on the day one is meant to do so? I hope no one got punched. Enjoy the show.
So, Cupcake,
Yeah.
guess what they're making more of?
I don't know. What are they making more of?
FLCL.
Why?
I don't know.
Because Okay, it's special. I don't know what that is, so...
Normally, well, it's basically a seminal classic short series made by a now defunct anime studio. Basically studios got the successor to that studio got what? Greedy? and has been making more of it, despite the fact that the new ones are not nearly as good. I think almost universally panned as being bad.
Mm.
I mean, there's like one scene I really enjoyed from the sequel OVAs, and it's the one where one of the main characters does the whole line about, I don't know about you, but I've got a giant penis, and it just came out of nowhere and it made me laugh. But other than that, like, it's terrible. I didn't enjoy it at all, but then again, I'm just a simple village fisherman. I haven't been particularly super impressed with creative media in general lately, as it's all become pretty secular. They keep rehashing safe properties so they can make more money. I don't even remember what I was talking about last, and it was like, I'm like, why is this even happening? Why are they even doing this? Like, this is pretty clearly just a money grab. I don't remember what I was even talking about the last time I said that, but I was like, we were looking at something, and I'm like, why are they even making more of this? Like, it's just for money. Like, it's not. I think we would have been talking about Ghostbusters, the new one. I was like, why did they make another one? Like, they didn't have to. I mean, I'm sure it was fine, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they keep resurrecting dead series and then acting like shocked when nobody wants to bite.
Yeah. Let's see, it's called FLCL Grunge and Shoegaze?
Okay.
In honor of the 25th anniversary of Toonami.
So, Cartoon Network is paying for it to be made, basically.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, fine, okay. Like, I'm not... It's not that I'm against it, I just... The last set was so bad. So bad. I don't know.
I know one thing I'm looking forward to is Miss Marvel.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, I know I shared in the server the trailer. So I was like, yeah, this looks pretty nice. You know, go into it with an open mind kind of thing. So what else? I don't know. I'm just glad that like today and yesterday have been enough that I can actually open up all the windows in the house. 70 degrees right now, so I'm like, hallelujah.
Right.
Oh, it's gonna be in the 80s next week.
Yeehaw. Already warming up for Kiki.
Happy spring, everybody.
What is spring? There is only winter.
And then all of a sudden, summer. And then all of a sudden, winter. That's how it is for Cupcake.
Minnesota, it's like, hey, look, it's spring and it's summer. 6 months later, hey, look, it's fall and it's winter. I'm actually legitimately a little shocked at how fast it changed over this year. Literally, last week it was below 0. This week it's in the 50s.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty...
Well, I mean, I'm also 500 miles north of you, Mish, and in the middle of the continent as far as Kiki goes.
Yeah. So that's why it's like, Yeah, last week was crap. I can't remember.
Every time my friends are farther south, they're like, I don't understand it. I'm not that farther south. I'm like, it's 500 miles. Oh, right. Because somebody was like, it's in the 40s here in Illinois. I'm like, you're 500 miles south of me. Oh.
Yeah.
That's enough of a,
It's 10 degrees of latitude.
Yeah. So it's like, it's enough latitude change that is, yeah. It's, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's, I don't know, it was probably in what, like the 30s or 40s or something. I can't remember. I know last weekend. Yeah, it was last week. It was Saturday was kind of one of those cold as fuck days.
Okay.
But also we were in Cleveland, which like right off of the lake.
Right.
So, and of course the tall buildings and the wind coming off the lake. So we're like, fuck. It's cold. Get back inside. But so we were completely aware that like, yes, we're like right by the lake in downtown Cleveland, and it's cold and the wind, and so, but a good portion of the night was spent inside, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah.
Is it really only 57 right now?
Something. And my toes are comfortably chilly. If that makes sense. A lot of the times my feet are like tiny little furnaces and just hot. So it's like, oh, they're not hot right now. They're pleasantly cool.
Pleasantly cool.
Yes. Trying to think. I think one of the books I'm waiting for got pushed back a little bit in terms of when it's released, like to June or something. And there might be another book from an author I like to read out. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to like look back into it. Let me see here. I know it's on Amazon. When did you come out? New release. Like, I guess it's a number one new release. Oh, okay. It's coming out in October, so it is very new. Okay. I was like, okay, it's not coming out until it's coming October. All right. One of those that shows up really, really early. Oh, Song of the First Blade. Don't I already have that? Maybe? Or I looked at it? Ugh. With some of these, like, fantasy series that are very close, like, same genre type of fantasy novels where they're like, you might be interested in this. And so I have to, like, look and be like, have I read you before? Or did I just look at you on Amazon and...
Right.
Yeah. So... I still have to read Golden Hand. I just like I looked at it immediately, knew exactly what it was from, and I'm just like I still have to read that one. It's the Porson series, which I've read the first 4, and this is the 5th one, and it's It's kind of a continuation from the first three because it has to do with events that happened in book 3. So, yeah. Yeah. So it's very, very, I know I've talked about it before. It's very, very interesting series, and I still want to be able to do a homebrew class for a person in a TTRPG. Be like, someone let me play this. Just so I can say, yes, I'm a necromancer. Yeah, don't worry. It's fine. I put the dead back in the ground. It's okay. You don't have to be scared. Okay, so it's Jesus. It's $10.99 even on Kindle. What the friggity frack?
That's a lot for an ebook.
Yeah, I was about because okay. So let me go back to this. I'm still saving $9 apparently because the print list price is well. For the one I'm looking at, saying for. Let me go back to that previous book because I clicked to book 6. Saying the hardcover is $19.99. So, and the paperback is $10.99. So it's the same price as the paperback. And that's like, I'm used to seeing it a little bit less than that, but that's okay. Yes, that familiar. I don't know what to fucking call that. Like it's not a tabard. Oh fuck, I have to remember if I'm thinking of the correct term. Hold on. Sleeveless jerkin. Okay, so technically it's sort of correct, but not really because it has sleeves. So, like, there's a coat that the Aporsons wear that is deep blue with a bunch of keys on it, I think. Hold on. I just lost my phone. Yeah. It's got little keys on it, I think. I was like, I'll recognize that. And I recognize the cat on the cover. Because Mug is a little shit. He's funny. Technically, Mogget isn't a cat. He's what's called a great shiny one. So, he's technically like an extraplanar entity kind of thing, like made of magic. He's just kind of bound to service to the Aporsons, and there's a chance that if you let him loose, he will kill you, as if you're the Aporson, which is annoying when you need his help. So, yeah. In book 1, Sabriel needs his help, and he's like, do I want to kill you? No, that won't be any fun right now. So, this last one is, I knew I recognized these names. Read the rest of the description and go, oh, that's familiar. It's been a while since I read these books. And that's why Mogget's on the front. All right. Anyways.
Well, I read All Systems Red, which is the first book in the Murderbot Diaries. And other than being very short, it was really good.
Very good.
But it's only like 144 pages, and it's kind of big text. It goes very fast.
Makes sense.
I hope the rest of the franchise is a little bit longer, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just write short books.
they're really short. But that's because I'm like writing over the course of trying to keep up with the prompts and when they're technically released. So like there's a 2-day stretch where it's like, here's this prompt. So I'm like, they're a little shorter because I'm like pumping them out so I get to the next one. Which is
could you say that again? You got all garbled.
Otherwise, like I've been kind of pumping out the short stories, and so like they're a little bit shorter, but because I'm trying to keep up with the prompt list, trying. So they're going to be a little bit shorter because I'm writing them faster and trying to get to an ending faster than I usually do. Because the other ones that I'm working on like ages ago, it was just at least 1,500 words. If you go above 1,500 words, that's fine, but at least 1,500 words. So it's like, okay, I've got some time. I can write this. Well, let me actually go back to how many pages is this? 19. Or 54. Hold on. Are you still adjusting? 54. Okay. I'm gonna go down. Because I was wondering if I have kind of edit from Discord format to reading format.
Am I the only one who's hearing Mish all garbled?
You're the only one.
That's weird.
She sounds totally fine to me.
Yeah, that's why I switched. I kind of leaned back a little bit and I moved my iPad so that where the antenna is closer to where my face is.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know if it means your Discord being crummy.
I have no idea what you're saying, Mish.
Is this any better?
No. It has to be purely on my end. One sec, I'll be right back.
Alright.
No.
Oh. Hi there.
Hi.
Did that work?
Yeah, that wasn't garbled.
Yay! Huzzah! Huzzah!
Huzzah, and much rejoicing was had.
And there was much rejoicing. Yay! Insert Monty Python reference here. Because, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just going through a reread of one of my favorite series.
Okay.
This guy wrote 3 science fiction out in outer space kind of deal things. So.
Weren't you watching some anime, Cupcake?
Not currently. I haven't had any time. All I do is work.
You poor thing.
Joy of being important.
I haven't had a lot of time to watch anime either.
Oh, come on. What do you mean you haven't had time? What is this nonsense? No time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just had a pop-up for news. Kim Kardashian says she's taking the high road while co-parenting with Kanye. I'm like, bitch, please.
I don't know. It'd be pretty hard to take the high road with a crazy man.
I mean, the bar is set pretty low for taking the high road. But someone like Kanye, it's like, not that she doesn't have her own set of problems, but yeah, I don't know. Still, it's like, it's like, you had a kid with him. Anyways. Yeah, at some point, like I mentioned, I'm gonna have to finish up The Mandalorian and The Witcher. At some point, watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Eventually. I also may watch Encanto and Turning Red.
Turning Red was good.
Good.
Arf.
Oh my lord.
Arf.
The kids are walking home. Oh god. Thank you. Dad has to bark at the kids, even though they across the street and are paying no attention to me. Thank you, sausage. Thank you. Hey. Thank you. I saw them. Yes. They are past your house now. It's okay. Ah.
Whew. I don't know why I'm so tired. I actually slept through the night. But, Encanto and Turning Red are both great coming-of-age, pseudo-family trauma stories.
That's what I heard. So, you know, eventually I'll be like, oh, watch it. Eventually. Yeah, I see you wiping your butt on the carpet. Hi. I know I was briefly the other day rewatching an episode of Call the Midwife.
Yeah.
How far have you gotten though with that, Kiki?
I have yet to watch it.
Okay. I was gonna explain the episode, but then I'm like, wait a minute, she may not have watched that far yet.
Mm. It's on the list, but the list is long and so full of things.
Yes. Say, guys, my neighborhood friends are woofing, so I have to woof.
Oh no.
Are you gonna do something while we're out here, sir? Hi, Miss Your White Face. Are you gonna do something? Alright, come on, let's go back in. Yes, hi. I see your orange ball. Oh, orange ball. There we go. Good job. You got it. Good job. He's doing his usual play with a favorite toy before eating some food thing.
Amazon owns MGM now.
You said it owns MGM?
Yeah, like officially.
Oh, man.
I don't think it's official. They still have to get it approved by the SEC, I thought. But they've made a final offer.
Stinky. Yes. El Stinkeroo.
The FTC says they're still investigating and they may challenge it at any time.
Hmm.
Okay, it's one of those then. Okay.
They haven't had enough time to really get to the nitty gritty, it says.
Okay. Makes sense.
Public statement was, the FTC does not comment on particular matters, and will reiterate that the Commission does not approve transactions and may challenge a deal at any time if it determines that it violates the law. Additionally, FTC announced it will send pre-consummation warning letters in connection with deals it cannot fully investigate the timelines established by these acts. These letters alert emerging parties that the transactions remain under investigation and warn the consummation will occur at their own risk. Basically, these companies are so big that they're still weighing the issues of monopoly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I'm like, aren't there 2 or 3 corporations that own everything now?
That's not quite that bad. It's a dozen, but yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm
well, it depends on what industries you're talking about. As far as food goes, it's 6 major U.S. corporations. I think it's 5 major media corporations.
nice. Oh. Apparently, so I think I noticed this is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. used to be on Amazon, and now it's on Disney Plus. So apparently it's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Punisher, The Defenders, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, they're moving everything from Amazon to, or Hulu or whatever the hell it is. Everything's being consolidated on Disney's thing now that the contracts are expiring.
Makes sense.
It's no different than all of the high dive stuff is going to start showing up on AMC's streaming thing because they bought out Sentai Filmworks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that Crunchyroll's absorbing Funimation. Which I imagine means they're also going to absorb Aniplex. It's just going to become Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Because they're all owned by Sony at this point.
So isn't it Sony that owns the rights to Spider-Man?
No, they don't own the rights. They had the movie rights, but Disney took them back.
Okay.
Aren't they sharing the rights?
Well, eventually Disney will take full control.
Yeah.
That's the big deal with their contracts, is that when they made the contract, they made it for I think 2 decades or something, but it basically becomes a game of either there is no Spider-Man or they're basically they pay a whole bunch of money and take the rights back. Well, it ended up being they share the profits until the contract runs out, and then it's all Disney's. Or something like that. I don't know. Basically, slowly but surely, Disney's pulling everything under their umbrella.
Yeah. Oh, I do love in the most recent Spider-Man, they recreated the Spider-Man GIF where there's 3 of them pointing at each other.
Oh, that's fun.
It's just
oh yes, memes.
So I was sitting in the theater with my mom and my niece and nephew, and of course it's okay, Tom Holland, he's current Spider-Man, and then Ned tries out the whole opening part, we need Spider-Man, and then Andrew Garfield shows up. I'm like, holy crap! And he tries it again, and Tobey Maguire shows up. I'm screaming an internal nerdgasm. I'm like, oh my god! And it's regular Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, not Spider-Man 3 shit that we pretend doesn't exist. I just like how it kind of also came across the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man kind of came across as he's the oldest of them technically.
Yeah.
At that point. So he kind of came across as the old wise Spider-Man. And kind of trying to tell Tom Holland's Spider-Man yeah, dude, I went down the road you want to go down. And it doesn't work. That whole revenge shit, it doesn't work. It doesn't help take the pain away of what happens. It doesn't. You think it will, and it won't. And I'm just yeah, that's a little bit true words there. Or it helps for a little bit, and then it comes back. Because no matter what, your aunt is still dead. You can kill him all you want, but your aunt is still dead, so that pain is still there. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as Aunt May said the responsibility line, she started it, I was like, oh fuck, she's dead. I was like, this, she ain't walking away from this, 100%. She ain't walking away from this. It's damn. You guys killed off Aunt May, god damn it. But there's no Uncle Ben, so at least in this Spider-Man timeline with the MCU, So, yeah. And what I also like is they gave Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man the opportunity to save MJ. And he did, and she didn't die. So that was very, very nice. And the whole joke of, I've been falling for 30 minutes line came back in this one. It's like, I've been stuck over the Grand Canyon for 12 hours. Sorry, Dr. Strange. Sorry. OPS Cupcake. A birthday present of yours shipped today. So at some point you'll get something from me.
I don't want anything. Don't send me anything. I'm going to hurt you people.
Too late. Sorry, too late. Clear, thank you. My nose. But I figured I'd at least let you know that someone's going to show up. Yeah. Refill a water glass. Woohoo. I try to keep up with the water intake to match my coffee intake. I swear I do.
All right, it's 2:00. I've been sober long enough.
Okay.
Yeah, you think I'm joking? I'm not. Cupcake got out this morning. I'll be right back.
Okay. Get your adult beverage of choice. Adult sippy juice of choice.
Sippy juice.
Adult sippy juice. Alright.
What the hell is on the back of his sweater?
I didn't catch it. Oops. Yes, I want to stay logged in because I want to clock back in. Oops. What's your sippy juice of chili? Oh, he doesn't have his headphones on yet. So what adult sippy juice did you choose, Cupcake? Ooh.
What's on the back of your sweater?
What's up?
What's on the back of your sweatshirt?
San from Princess Mononoke riding Amaterasu,
Oh, okay.
the wolf goddess. Because I'm a weeb! Weeb! You hear me?
Tell me something I don't know.
I'm 90% less weird than most of the people who are at the same level as me.
I agree with you, because
I'm a little weirded out by the people who have reached the same level of weebiness. Like,
the creepy dude I encountered at college who wanted me to break up with hubby because hubby did not play TTRPGs.
Oh no!
And I'm like, motherfucker. It's like I have a response that now me wouldn't say back then.
it's not just anime fans, it's like weird nerds in general. It's like, you need to get out and get socialized. What the fuck?
You need to get properly socialized, please. Like,
there we go. Got the safety seal off.
Woo, party time!
This actually got a...
Ooh. That was a nice pop. So I may be getting alcohol.
3, 4, 5.
Am I the only one not getting alcohol?
Well, no. I was going to continue my sentence. So hubby is leaving for a work trip this coming Tuesday. So we generally don't keep alcohol in the house because I'm the only one who drinks it. And sometimes, the wine bottle sits there open for like weeks and weeks until I remember it's there, and then it's like, oh, okay, I can have like a glass of wine. Okay. So I'm more of a beer drinker. It usually goes beer, cocktails, then wine for me. So, cider along with the beer. So right now I have my usual coffee mug and glass of water next to me by the computer. Okay, I'm going to pause in speaking for half a second. Okay, there we go. Sometimes when I hit the take calls, it has a call waiting for me, so...
Oh, I'm drinking water out of the classiest of mugs.
Of course.
Well, we can't all have our Yeti tumblers. Wait, oh my god. There we go. Yeti tumblers.
Ooh.
Fancy.
1, 2, 3. Done. All right. All right.
Ooh, pardon.
Nice. Now, that isn't to say I haven't had alcohol while sitting here at my desk while at work. But usually it's like, we had like the seltzer, the hard seltzers, which are like 1%, 2% at most. So it's like, yeah, I'm not getting drunk off of this or even tipsy. So...
Whereas I'm just a hardened alcoholic, so none of this even gives me anything.
Yeah.
We had that moment, the last D&D session for the game I play in on Thursdays. I went through half a bottle of rum. And they were like, "You were drinking?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, you only seemed a little tipsy. I'm like, yeah, well, I've done a lot of drinking in the last decade.
Exactly.
That's really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, good.
Very nice.
I mean, it better be for, what's this, like $40?
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, Cupcake just got his manager bonus for the last year, so.
Valid.
Making that hard-earned money.
Money, money, money.
Money!
Just from the bonuses that I've acquired this year, I've doubled the amount of money in my bank account.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's not a brag, that's a holy what the shit.
Yeah.
I want to be clear, when I talk about the amount of money I'm being paid, it's not a brag, it's a I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah. But also, like, I don't make as much as Cupcake, but the fact that, let me bring back up my Patreon really quick.
You have a Patreon?
I don't, okay, so I signed up to support people. I'm thinking about becoming a creator.
Oh, you're like me, you've got a support account. I thought you had like an active Patreon account. I'm like, what? Oh, by the way, speaking of patrons and stuff, Sammy loved those icons, by the way, geeks. She was ecstatic.
Well, good.
Very, very nice.
I should say, my friend Sammy started streaming, and she needed emotes for her channel, and she wanted a couple of her dog's heads, basically, cartoonishly. She's like, if only I knew somebody who could do art. I'm like, well, I know somebody who could do art. I'll see what she says. And yeah, that was impressive, to say the least. I mean, hang on. I think I can post them in the chat because I think they're active. Let me see. Yes, they are.
Let me see. Oh, it's so cute.
So that's Danny and Nani, and then they have another one of Danny's head straight on.
Very nice. But yeah, I support. Let me bring it back up here because I was looking at the cute doggos. Now, granted, these are not all of the top. Like, some of them are the top tier, some of them aren't. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I support 8 people. I mean, I'm following a bunch more that I may decide at some point to support.
Right.
But 8, so $70 a month goes. And now, granted, it's on my credit card that I had then have to pay off. But $70 a month going towards supporting these people. And it's like, I never thought, even 5 years ago, whether or not Patreon was around 5 years ago, I have no idea. But even like 5 years ago, like, I don't know if I would have been able to, like, even conceive that I would be, like, number one, that I would want to, and number two, that I would be able to do that. Like, you know, like, just like for the Princess Bride, like, inconceivable.
Oh, dude.
Like, and just, you know, the fact that it's like within that 10 years, yes, I paid off all my student loans. And yes, like, I don't have a car payment. And it's like, what the fuck? I have this money in my account and it's like,
right.
And I still have that mindset of when I first got married and, you know, when I was like, even before then, when it was like, holy crap, like how sorry. Just Siri on my watch was like, oh, you twisted the right way and I think I'm supposed to be listening to you. But like I know part of the reason why like I was able to survive on what I was making is because I was living with my parents.
Right.
And like all they were having me do was like pay for my part of the phone bill. Like I did pay for a while for rent, quote unquote, that they then gave back to me like for my wedding. But
Right.
like, yeah, I wasn't really paying rent. I was maybe, paying for insurance for the car.
Right.
My part of the cell phone bill on their plan. And then thank you for calling me.
And she's gone. Yeah, I just finally, like, in the last year, becoming a manager, like, got to the point that I paid off, like, the interest that had been occurring for the last decade on my loans. Like, I'm actually paying on principal now. Not all of it's principal, but more, like, a bigger chunk of it is principal now than where before I was just paying the interest down. Yeah, it's weird. To say the least, it's weird to have, like, something that was just filling in to have a job become a real honest-to-God career. It's not lost on me. Went to school for something completely different and ended up doing something I wasn't even expecting. I like my job, believe it or not. It's just stressful because we're so undermanned.
Yeah. I hear that. Hubby has to deal with being
Right, similar deal with food service.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to keep your team motivated when they're just like, why am I here? It's like, I know, I feel the same way.
They're gonna release a new version of Encanto already?
Wow.
Oh, it's a sing-along version.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, this is definitely not what you went to school for.
No, I know.
But I imagine that's true for a lot of people.
Probably.
Okay, I'm back. But yeah, like the whole like sometimes it's like, oh my god, I'm financially stable. Like having that mindset is just still sometimes like, oh, okay, I'm good.
Well, like, my biggest issue is I have the money, but I'm afraid to spend it because I didn't grow up destitute poor, but we grew up working poor, basically, and I'm always like, but what if the money stops? Then what? So you hoard it like an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, so sometimes that's like, yeah, not that I was like rich, but we called where I grew up the bubble for a reason. Middle to upper class, white Christians. So like, I wasn't as like rich as some of the people I grew up with, but I wasn't necessarily poor either. But
no.
Again, once I graduated, and there was a point where it's like they were giving me apparently all the hours they could give me. That whole spiel.
Right.
So it was like, yeah. And then my parents paving the road to good intentions to road to hell with good intentions. They didn't necessarily give me the greatest talks on how to deal with money.
Well, because it was never a thing until like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody played this game of go to school, get a job, pay your debt off. And then all of a sudden the bottom fell out and none of us could pay our debt back because they weren't going to raise the amount of money they were paying us. They're paying us fucking slave labor wages and going, well, aren't you grateful to have a job? You could have no job and be destitute. Wouldn't that suck? Oh, well, there you go. Just be grateful for what you do have. It's like, when I was 18 years old, you told me to go to school. I put myself $30,000 in debt for you to tell me that, you know, there is no job at the end of this.
Exactly.
Figure something out. Oh, and by the way, my parents claimed me the entire time I was in school, so none of my loans are subsidized. So the entire time, I've got 18% interest driving my loans up. So when I get out, I'm $45,000 in debt because while I was in school for that, 5-6 years, I was, getting charged 18% interest on my loans the entire time.
Yeah.
Which, thank God they got rid of that, because you and I are old enough that was a goddamn thing. I can't even believe they charge that much interest on student loans. And I'm not talking private loans, I'm talking public loans before the government took them over.
Yeah.
I pay 6.5%, and I'm grateful for that because I'm old enough to remember it being 18%!
Yeah.
That's a credit card's interest. You know how fast that blooms when you're not paying more than the minimum amount? The minimum,
exactly.
I remember this because when I started, the minimum payment was $650 a month. $650 a month is like almost a rent payment or a house payment when I first got out. Yeah. I mean, now it's more, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it was, it was a house payment. I'm like, I don't have that kind of money. They're paying me $8 an hour.
Yeah. And it's, and it's just like, now granted, like, hubby still has a year and a half or so left on his stuff, but he went to school for longer. So, right. So it's like, it's like, still like, $650, that's like a car payment plus like another kind of like utility payment, for example.
Right.
So like, you sometimes like to kind of paraphrase a comic, because they were talking about gas prices in this. But it's like, you shouldn't be at the pump making life decisions. I'm like, exactly, the same thing works here. You shouldn't be staring at all your bills trying to make life decisions going, do I want a roof over my head for longer, or do I want to starve this month? Huh. Do I, well, I mean, like,
number one, like, our medical by itself is psychotic. That's a big piece of the pie. Yeah. That's killing people. As far as, like, I'm not trying to sound like that guy, but as far as car, like, cost of gas and stuff goes, don't buy, and this also goes to the car companies, they need to make gas-efficient sedans again. All they make is SUVs and trucks, and they get no gas mileage. Like, my coworkers, my guys under me are going, why don't you get a new car? Because you can't get a car. You have to get a truck. I don't want something that gets 10 miles to the gallon.
Exactly.
I want a goddamn sedan. I don't want an SUV. I don't want a crossover. I don't want a pickup truck. I don't want those. I don't need them. I don't want the gas mileage. I don't want the insurance rates. I want a fucking mid-sized four-door sedan, which you can't get. Nobody makes them. It's either a compact or you got a big-ass truck that gets 10 miles to the gallon.
See, that's why first of all, I work from home, so that cut down on gas to begin with.
Right.
But that's why I love the Kia Soul, because it's slightly bigger than like a mid-sized four-door sedan, but it's not the huge-ass SUV. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go, like, when I was going into work, I could probably go a week, maybe a week and a half before getting gas. So, not necessarily, like, the greatest, but it's not the worst either.
Well, my whole point is, they don't make sedans. Everything is built on a truck's chassis. I don't want a truck.
Exactly.
The Kia Soul was built on a truck fucking chassis.
Yeah.
I don't want a hatchback. I don't want a truck. I don't want a crossover. I want a fucking car. All they make are fucking SUVs and trucks. I don't want that. Everybody's like, well, that's what's popular. I don't give a shit. I don't want a truck. They don't get shit for gas mileage.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Oh. Yeah, it's... You know, and that's the thing. It's like, you can't exactly pull yourself up by the bootstraps if there's no bootstraps to pull yourself up with.
Well, number one, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps is a joke from the 1940s because you can't physically do that.
Exactly. It's just, and people are like, oh, you're just lazy. I work 3 jobs and can still barely afford to pay all my bills. And I still don't get health insurance.
I'm more shocked by the cost of health insurance. I barely go to the doctor. My health insurance premium is $350 a month. And I double checked. That's standard. That's not like high for my age group.
Oh, jeez.
It's insane. The amount of money they want for health insurance is ridiculous. It doesn't cover. I mean, one thing if like you're paying that, and then they paid a certain amount of like whatever anytime you had to go to the doctor, but they don't even do that. They're like, oh, you got to rack up $5,000 in medical debt before we'll even start paying, and even then, it's only 20%.
Yeah, that's why it's like, if at any point I actually do get pregnant, it's like I'm going to be sitting there going, I'm getting a fucking midwife or a doula, and if at all possible, having this child at home, because I am not going into the hospital unless absolutely necessary, because it's like $10,000 to have a kid in the hospital.
Oh no, it's more than that.
Well, I know, but yeah, like
it costs you $10,000. It's over $1 million.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it shouldn't be like that. Having a kid should not cost you $10,000 with health insurance. It should not.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe that as the richest country in the world, we're looking at people going, well, fuck you. Because that's what it works out to be. I'm having weird issues. Well, that's tough for you. When you die, we'll get somebody to replace you.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I'm not saying there has to be honor among thieves, but I mean, it's just absolutely shocking. I mean, like there's something wrong with medicine in this country because no one else in the Western fucking hemisphere is going like, I have a weird cough. I guess I'll wait to see if it gets worse.
Yeah, or they have a wristband that says, "Do not call the ambulance. Drive me to the hospital yourself."
Well,
like,
I mean, number one, when you're paying $3, $4, $5, $6, my mother pays $1,500 a month for health insurance, and all that means is that they automatically cover 20% off the bat.
Jesus.
And it's not bad health insurance. Like, it's insane. Health insurance doesn't cover anything. It's literally all health insurance is now literally critical care. It only for like the first. I think mine is the first $3 million. After that, they covered nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, have you looked up close at your policy, Mish? Because like they don't cover shit.
Hold on. Let me finish putting this lotion on.
I mean, maybe yours is better than mine, but like mine covers something, but not everything. It's like, holy shit.
Let me take a look. There we go. Bring up my foot. bring up my passwords. I mean, maybe that's also why, like, for a while I didn't go get my PCOS diagnosis, because it was like, oh, whatever, it's not, hurting me.
And the doctors don't help either. You go to them for help, and they're like, okay, well, what do you want us to do? I'm like, I want you to try to help me figure it out. Well, you got an issue. Well, what do we do? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I quote, I've been having trouble sleeping. Sucks to be you. Have you tried Benadryl?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, what pisses me off is they play this whole game of like, oh, you have to rack up this much debt, but they leave out, like, they conveniently leave out that there's a maximum amount that they'll cover where they're done. And it seems like a really high number. It'll be like $10 million. But guess what? If you're seriously injured, that goes real fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it does go really, really fast. Like, oh, stupid, what is this thing doing? You need to let me do what I'm doing, thank you. Crap. Sorry, I have to reset my password, apparently.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're good. Like, I didn't mean like to have you actually go look at it. I'm just saying, like, when I took a close look at my fucking policy, I'm like, this is insane. Because basically, they just want your money. They don't want to actually insure you. Is what I keep running into.
Yeah.
They're like, if you're kind of sick, it's your problem. If you're really fucking sick, it's still your problem. And if you get cancer, well, put a bullet in your head because we're not helping you.
Exactly. Add my booster shot. Yes, I have received a booster shot. And
Get Cupcake drunk and watch him spin! Yes. Completely quiet till I started drinking the whiskey, and then suddenly I couldn't stop talking.
Hey, that's okay. Profile, benefits.
Oh, I know it's okay. I know it's okay. It's better okay. It's good. It's good, bro. It's good.
So currently,
I'm just trying to make you guys laugh.
Okay. I know. We love you, Pick.
No one loves me. Don't give me those lies. Those lies and slander.
Oh my god, that's so hilarious. I almost called you Pancake.
Yes! Yes!
Pancake!
I am Pancake, the great and powerful!
Alright, so apparently...
That's it, I'm changing my screen name to Captain Pancake.
So for 2 people, for my work, out of every single paycheck, right now, the estimated cost is $158.45.
So you're paying about the same thing I'm paying.
And that's for 2 people, me and hubby. And that's for the...
Wait, your husband's insured on...
Yes, for me. So it says you and hubby name are covered.
Right.
So this is for the preferred plan, the actual, like, plan itself. So that's the biggest chunk right there, like the actual medical plan.
Right.
Basic life and health and accidental death and dismemberment, which is free, apparently. $0.
Yeah, they give it to you because it only covers while you're employed. What's the chance that you're horribly killed in your own home?
Yeah. So voluntary life insurance a bit over $1.
Right.
Dental. Right. Short-term disability. And everything else is either 0 or we waived it.
Right.
So,
you get paid twice a month, so that's like about $300-ish a month?
I get paid every week.
Holy shit.
Every single week. Every paycheck.
They're pulling $150 a week?
Yeah, let me go look at my pay screen here. Yeah, so my gross. So, for example, last week, or wait a minute, no, this is for that's for tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
So there's about, depending on like if I have enough like time over. So for tomorrow, for the 18th, so hours, 40.05.
Right.
And this is probably for last week.
Right.
Gross pay is $656 and change. Right. That's before anything else.
Right.
Take home pay is $421 and change.
Holy crap! They are not paying you enough money.
And that's with my raise that I just got. So that's taxes. That's
right.
With taxes, benefits, and other. I'm not entirely sure what other is. What is other?
I mean, I guess for two people, that's not so bad. You're paying like roughly $600 a month for two people, so it's roughly $300. So you're like not that far off what I'm paying for my health insurance through work. What's your deductible?
1 moment.
That's the real question.
1 moment.
Yeah. Like, I'm not trying to pry. I'm just curious to see how you measure up against what I'm doing.
She's running because she's not away from desk. All right. I had to get my wallet so I can look at my little card.
Oh, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I was just curious.
I know. So, stupid headset. All right. So deductible in network is $1,500/$3,000.
That's not bad. It's about the same as mine.
Maximum out of pocket in network is $4,500, $9,000. And if I go to the emergency, that went up.
Uh-oh.
It used to be if you went to the ER, it was $250. Now it's $300.
That's still not bad, though. I mean, mine doesn't cover any part of the ER, so it's just like 20%, I want to say.
Yeah.
I say, my deductible's like $2,000 flat. In or out, doesn't matter. It's just $2,000.
Yeah.
So yours is a little bit better because they nail you for out of pocket or out of network.
Yeah.
I think that's what the difference is I don't have the high end on the out of network, because I think that's what you've got. You've got it's half as much in network as it is out of network.
Yeah.
Which when you're in emergency care, you don't really have a choice. It's like, the anesthesiologist is out of network, so that doesn't count. What? He worked at the same hospital. Yeah, but he's not a part of our network. He was subbing in.
No, but yeah, so because it was funny.
Yeah, that's pretty comparable.
Yeah, so I got my full-time job before hubby did.
Right.
So that's why I was like, I got him.
Right, that's why he's on yours, not the other way around. I'm going doesn't he have health insurance? I imagine his is probably interesting.
Yeah. He does have insurance, and we have the FSA card.
Oh, okay.
With his insurance. So there's that. Which at some point, if because we've talked about the fact that once he is paid off all of his stuff,
right,
that you don't necessarily need to work,
right.
Later passwords, Face ID. Thank you. APP. Sign in.
Also, Keeks, why did your husband invite me to the Danhausen Fanhausen?
Why not?
I mean, I'm not complaining, but I didn't even know it existed until I got the invite. I'm like, Mr. Keeks has invited you to the Danhausen Fanhausen. The fuck? I click it, I'm like, oh, it's the fan club for Danhausen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in it. I saw him post. I'm like,
Yep.
oh my god, he's here. And he was like, buy my junk. Buy my junk. If I was a t-shirt guy, I would, but I'm not, so haha. Haha! Russia warns Bosnia and Herzegovina that it will face the same fate as Ukraine if it decides to be part of NATO. Really? You're going to invade Bosnia next?
Jeez.
Apparently,
The man barely can take Ukraine. He's talking about taking Bosnia.
Isn't Bosnia, like, tiny?
I mean, yeah, they're not big countries, but my point being is, like...
He's gonna have to go through a couple of countries, isn't he?
Well, even if he doesn't, I think Bosnia is on the border of Ukraine. I'm not sure.
No. Not according to Google Maps.
Let me see.
Unless you mean Belarus.
Oh, no. No, you're right. He's gonna have to go through a NATO country to get to them, isn't he?
Yeah, I think.
Let me look at NATO. I don't know.
I'll be right back. The dog needs out.
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm like, I just reset you.
Right.
And apparently it's like, no, you're incorrect. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? Like... You cannot reuse your last 4 fucking passwords. Are you serious right now? Oh, I hate you.
Bulgaria, Canada, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Montenegro, Netherlands, Macedonia, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Turkey, and Canada. Okay. Wow.
Fucking kidding me. Next. I'll do this later. I'm ready to get... But,
Let me... So that's him. Oh, that'll be ugly. Okay, well, good luck, boys. You take Bosnia if you think you can.
how many countries do they have to go through?
They'd have to come by sea.
Okay.
Bosnia and Herzegovina are surrounded by NATO nations.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Apparently Putin has also been threatening Sweden and Finland with invasion.
I mean, I know he has planes and everything, but that's still...
Well, my big thing is they're both part of the European Union. There's no way that the European countries will allow them to be invaded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'll allow it to happen, but when it happens, there's no way they don't react. I refuse to believe that they'll stand by and let Finland be invaded by the Russians. Also, the Finnish would probably beat the shit out of them because they're armed with Western weapons and Western doctrine.
Yeah.
Finns have done it before, they'll do it again, and they won't hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, Bosnia is surrounded by NATO countries, so they would have to invade by water.
Mm.
Like, they literally can't do it because there's no way we wouldn't notice, a naval fleet massing in the Mediterranean Sea.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, isn't Russia gonna default on its debt soon?
Probably. They'll blame it on us, though, that we did it to them. It was a conspiracy to crush their nation.
Well, yeah, it was. I don't know about conspiracy. We did it out in the open.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm back. Yeah, it would be a little bit obvious if there was all of a sudden this huge ass naval fleet showing up.
Yep.
Especially with the fact that America is basically the policing unit of the whole entire world. Size. Email lines. Like, what did they update? Oh, yeah, they updated that. Oh, I know. Guys, there's someone passing by this sausage's house.
Oh no.
Oh, I heard the beep. Okay. It's the one night lurking. I was like, I heard a Discord like ping, and I'm like, what? Oh, it's one night kind of lurking. But yeah, eventually, Cupcake, I kind of almost have it in my brain of, eventually I might have a Patreon and start releasing our story that way.
Oh, I was just curious. I didn't know if you were like a subscriber or a creator. That's all I was asking.
Yeah, right now just subscriber, so.
Because I found out like one of my like associate friends had an OnlyFans. I'm like, since when? I'm like, whoa, okay. That came out of nowhere.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I'm not judging. I was just like, I never knew.
The more you know. Da da da. Oop. Save on.
Speaking of OnlyFans, apparently Tony Storm has an OnlyFans. If you know who that is. I don't know if you know who that is.
What?
Not really.
She's a former WWE wrestler.
Ah.
Okay.
Yes, I know the front is required. I would like to... Where the hell is this thing? I just saved it. This. Save. Cancel. Browse. Desktop. Okay, apparently it's not showing up. I hate you. Because the online the app on my phone is not accepting the password. And I'm like, you motherfucker. Just getting me annoyed. Get rid of some of these. I'm also like rereading a fan fiction.
So
They
smart.
work in progress.
Nothing.
Well, it's usually the longer ones that I tend to reread through cycles, so this one's like 18 chapters and still a work in progress. One of them just recently in the past few months put on chapter 29. Have one of these on here. What is Hang the Fool? There we go. Hang the Fool is 22 chapters. The Paths We Walk. Watcher in the Woods is 36 chapters. Yeah. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other stories in that same universe. So, yeah. At some point, I'm going to have to do a reread of all of that as well. And, yeah. And besides, it's the Watch in the Woods series has some very nice fan art that I absolutely love. Thank you for calling the USGA. This is Julia.
And she's gone.
Only 2 more weeks until Moon Knight.
So what?
Moon Knight.
The hell is that, and why should I care?
It's a Marvel series.
Oh.
The character's
Well,
name is Moon Knight.
We're all real happy for you. I hope you enjoy it.
I hope I enjoy it too.
Wanders away. We're such interesting people.
Yep. I haven't done much. My mom went into the hospital. I've been busy.
And all I do is work, so you're in good company.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Can't remember what the hell I was talking about. I'm just... That's funny. All right. Well, I was just looking at a LOTR kind of joke / artwork.
Oh, I just remembered what else I read. I read something wicked. Finally.
Ooh, very nice.
I mean,
Did this play come?
No, that's later. I mean, it does have witches in it, though.
I have a kind of. I have a few books that are on my shelves that I have not yet read or finished reading.
Ah, yes, like me and anime.
Yes.
The pile is disgusting, and I'm looking at more anime because money!
Of course.
No, I'm doing a pretty good job. But, like, I'm basically not ordering anything that I don't plan on watching immediately, because it's like... Oh, God. What?
It's on fire.
No, it's just a thing from Google. Hey, did you know this TV show is going to be on tonight? Everybody loves it. You should watch it. It's on Fox. Like, I don't care. I don't care. If you didn't know, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, like, it was kind of that way for, like, me and Game of Thrones. Like, I didn't actually start watching Game of Thrones until, like, the final season was on TV, like, being, like, you know, one episode a week on TV, you know. And, like, so then I just binge watched it, and then I'm like, I don't think I'll ever, like, watch this again. Like, I might watch, like, an episode here or there, but, like,
Yeah.
I don't think. And overall, it was okay. It was just, you know, I didn't necessarily like the ending. I kind of understood the ending, like, once I started thinking about it. Like,
Right.
she did what she did. But I know a lot of people were like, holy shit! And I'm like, okay, calm your tits, okay? Like, seriously, calm the tits. But
My biggest thing lately has been all my coworkers and stuff have been like, did you go see that new movie? I'm like, worldwide pandemic. They're like, yeah, but it's over. I'm like, is it?
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll just watch it when it comes out on streaming with you.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm just years behind people because I refuse to go into crowded places. I refuse. Like, I'm shocked that people are like, it's whatever. I'm like, okay. I don't want to hear any complaints when you get sick.
well, I was watching a TikTok this morning, and she was like, "Yeah, and Americans have decided to start raw dogging each other's air." I'm like, "That's about right."
That's exactly what's going on. Like, they're like, I went to the Batman, it was excellent. I'm like, that's great, I'm not touching it. Like, why? I'm like, because I don't want to catch that shit. They're like, it won't happen. I'm like, yeah, but what if it does?
I mean, the Batman was excellent.
Oh, I'm not saying it isn't. What I'm saying is I'm not going near other people. I'm controlling my exposure. And I'm more shocked that everyone else isn't, like, worried about this shit. Like, oh, I'll be fine. I won't be any worse than a cold. And then somebody fucking kicks the bucket, and they're like, I wasn't expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about old, infirm people. I'm not talking about people in our age group in their 30s who are, like, keel over dead from COVID exposure. And then you find out they never even took the fucking... At least if you have the vaccine, there's a better chance you're not going to die a horrible death. But I'm still like, I ain't taking the chance. It's not that important to me.
Yeah.
And every time, like, I literally didn't get to see my grandfather before he died because my cousin went to a fucking concert, got sick with COVID, and then went into the hospital to visit my grandpa. And they went, no more visitors. You're done.
Well, that was the one time, like, if you had been in, like, where you could see my face full of rage, I was like, you motherfuckers. I'm like, my nice filter is off for all of your fucking family members who decided that they didn't want to follow fucking protocol and not let him fucking say goodbye, and not let everybody else, but especially Cupcake, say goodbye to his grandpa. I'm like, fuck you fuckers. Get the fuck out. Go to hell. I don't give a shit.
Well, too late. They were first in, so everybody else was locked out. And at least I got to see him, you know, like the week before he got sick, so at least I had that. But I was still ticked because he went in while I was at work, and I didn't have, like, I was like, well, he'll be all right. I'll see him in the morning. And my cousin went to see him that night, and that locked out anybody else visiting him.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I was not happy on your behalf. I was like, you absolute cocksuckers. Like, I was just like, ugh. Like, I don't feel this rage very often at this level of, like...
I'm tired of people going to places, getting sick with the shit, then spreading it and going, well, what do you want me to do? I have to live my life. Don't fucking go around people until you know you're clean. Like, this isn't rocket science. You go hang out with 3,000 people at a concert. Don't go hanging out with your sick grandparents, dipshit.
Exactly. Like, yeah. As I'm not the type of person, like, I get angry, but I'm not the type of person to necessarily feel that level of, like, red rage very often.
I mean, it's my ground state, so, you know, that's where I'm at.
And I was just, but I was like, I was fuming. I was like, you absolute cunts.
I mean, in the scheme of things, it's whatever, but I'm still pissed.
Yeah, I know. Anyways.
I feel that.
Yep.
So my mom messaged what she wants to do for dinner.
Food, I imagine.
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Have you seen your brother, Captain Hindsight, anywhere?
I saw my brother last week.
I'd kick you, but then I'd have to break my fucking foot off in your ass.
World's largest potato is not a potato after all?
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
Interesting. Very interesting.
It's like a rutabaga, or like, what did they find out?
The tuber of a type of gourd.
Okay.
Very interesting.
I mean, if I looked at it, I would have gone, that's a weird-ass potato, but okay. It is giant. Oh, they named it Doug. How cute.
Doug the tuber.
Yeah, now it's a tuber, not a potato. Kind
Very
of
nice.
looks like a person.
Jesus.
Oh, well, sucks to be them. They don't get their Guinness record.
Yeah, that does look like an old dude.
Yeah.
Or like a beaver or something.
Kanye West's Instagram account suspended after racist attack on Trevor Noah.
Wow. Black on black violence
What
much?
should tell you?
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Oh, hang on. Somebody wants me to read what he said. No, open the link.
For 24 hours. Kim, Pete, Trevor, and others. As a result, we're told this account was suspended for 24 hours. At least one post has been tweeted or deleted already where Yeezy repeatedly hurled racial slurs at Trevor Noah.
He called him a coon.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. I doubt they're gonna.
I mean, he is the same person who once said that slavery was a choice.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah,
That's the answer.
a choice.
Of course it is. Don't you know? I'm sure his ancestors are sitting down looking at him like, boy, like, really? It's like, idiot. And I'm just thinking about, like, so I watch, what's it called? I actually have to look. Your videos, video purchases. Finding Your Roots, which is, they kind of go into the past and find, like, where celebrities come from. So, like, this season, they are doing, like, for example, Raul Esparza, Catherine Hahn, Mario Lopez, etc. And a lot of the times, as the host has said, especially with the people of color who are Black, they can only go back to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
And that certain point, especially if they're this is in America, especially, you got, and that's as far back as they can go sometimes.
Can you say that again? You got cut off for me.
So, like, after a certain, like, they can go back to a certain point, which is the mid-1800s, and guess what ended in the mid-1800s in America, officially? Slavery. Because they were put on lists as dashes. One male, 10 years old, one female, 18 years old. That was it. No names, no nothing. So, yeah. I'm sure those people chose to, not be named in census reports and to have a price tag put on their head. I'm quite sure, right? Right. / sarcasm. Just to make it perfectly obvious.
Who's in talks with AEW? I don't know who you are. Jonathan Grisham? Let's Google you. Nope. Oh, you're a Ring of Honor wrestler. That's why I don't know you. Okay. Aww. Small dog falls off yacht, swims 7 miles to shore.
Jesus.
It's a small corgi.
Right.
Poor thing.
No, I thought it was a corgi the size of a Great Dane, clearly.
Yes, when I say small dog, I mean Great Danes.
Oh, you said it's a small dog, you said it's a corgi. I'm like, yes, I thought it was a corgi the size of a Great Dane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think Great Danes are small dogs, oh boy, are we in trouble.
I think Great Danes are lap dogs.
Well, all dogs are lap dogs. Don't matter how much they weigh.
Yep. Hi, Pam. Come here, kitty cat. Or Ringo. Fine, cat. Screw you. I'm being ignored by a cat. How shocking.
What a shock. What a shock.
I've gotten 20 years of hats. Well, good for you.
What did you say?
This guy calls in, and so apparently he didn't get a hat that we sent out to him. I got 20 years of hats, blah, 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 and it's like, I get it, but I'm letting you know, like, that hat you're asking for is most likely out of stock. And he was insistent, I want that hat. I've got 20 years of hats, and it's got to break the street. All right. And I'm like, I made sure to notate that I told him several times it's out of stock. At least 2 or 3 times. Like, it's most likely out of stock.
Right. Well, where's his hat, goddammit?
Once it's expedited like it was, or a courtesy one requested like it was.
Well, that's great, but his hat's not here. What are you going to do to fix it?
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Well, that's terrible customer service. I think I'll have to find somebody to replace you.
Bye, Felicia. I go to fucking Aldi's and make like $4 more than I'm making now.
Right.
I'm making now. Sit down to the fucking cash register.
Right.
So,
Mish, they gave me another $3 raise.
Nice.
I don't understand it. Like, I don't know why we can't find help. Like, we keep offering more money. Nobody will bite.
Yeah, I've been here for 11 and a half years.
Jesus.
And I'm still not making $12 an hour.
Why are you still there?
I don't know. I really don't.
You really should look for something else. I'm like not even being a smartass. Like,
I know, it's... So, because after a certain point in quality, I wasn't keeping up to standards. So I was like 2 inches away from being fired. And then they put me on the phones. And I was like, okay, I'm not being fired, so I'll just go to the phones and suck it up, buttercup. And because of that, because I switched from being quality to being on the phones, I took a pay cut. And then I had to kind of work my way back up. So now if I was still in provisioning, I would be like, yeah, they need to fucking pay me more because of all the shit that I was trained to do. That was basically a team lead without being a team lead.
Mish. So, my 17-year-old high school stalker makes $19 an hour.
Yeah. That's
like,
why I'm like...
They need to pay you more money. Or you need to find a different job. Like, I'm not even being a smartass. Like, they're not paying you enough money. Like, look for something else, seriously. That's ridiculous. I haven't made $12 an hour in probably a decade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, McDonald's is paying $15 an hour now.
Yeah.
That anybody would pay less than that is just insane to me at this point. I mean, like, they're telling me, like, you can do so much better than this. I'm like, I feel like I'm doing pretty well, but okay. I want to know if she wants food or not, because otherwise, if she doesn't want food, I'm ordering something because my ass is sitting here the rest of the night.
Alright. I wonder what I should do for dinner.
I don't know. I'm not making anything. I just want to know if my mother wants me to order anything. If she's doing leftovers, I'm ordering food, because once I get my dinner, I've got a long night of being a dumbass in front of me. Where I guess we are playing. I am playing my game. Originally, everybody's like, "Oh, I got stuff. Now, like, everything is clear. We're doing this." I'm like, "Oh shit." I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, I got a call like right at 4:30, and I was like, so yeah, I kind of agree with you. With everything, I basically, and also all the calls I've been trying to take, yeah, I kind of need to be paid more. And the mere fact that, because they were, like, last year around this time, they were like, overtime, please, everyone do overtime, because they couldn't find work.
Right, they can't, there's nobody to work.
And so, it was like, dudes, like, the fact that I show up for my 40 hours, you should pay me more just for that. But,
I mean, the going rate is so much higher. What's their plan, dude? $12 an hour is nothing.
I know. It's just, I really couldn't tell you what the fuck they're thinking, because it's crazy.
Well, they're obviously finding people to take at least someone to take the work, but I'm saying, like, it's nuts. Like, nobody should be paying that little at this point. That's not even the market rate anymore.
I know. And
I mean, like, literally no one around here pays that little, and they wouldn't be able to get away with it. They wouldn't have anybody at that little amount of money.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's because a lot of times, what was I thinking? I guess because it's also the fact that, like, all you need to be is, like, of working age. So, like, I've legit worked with 18-year-old, 19-year-olds. So, like, if someone doesn't necessarily feel like going or, like, is doing this while they're going to college, they're not necessarily looking for something or they don't know enough to be like, hey, we should deserve to be paid X for this. They just are like, oh, sweet, I have a job that isn't necessarily taxing. I get to here.
That's not even a thing because the high school kids that are working for us are like, I won't work for less than 15. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Like they threaten to take to drop their wages to $11 an hour. They're like, well, we'll quit. Good luck finding replacements. And it's like, oh shit. Like, they gotta pay you more money. Like, they gotta wake up to the fact that pretty soon they're not gonna have anybody to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, or, like, if someone, like, asks me about it, I might be like, yo, if they can go to Aldi's and still sit down and be a cashier for, $5 more than what you're paying them to start off with, why wouldn't they go there? Like,
Mish, the cashiers at my store make $18 an hour.
Yeah. And that's, like, I'm basing my thing over, like, the last time I looked at it, which may have been several years ago. So that may be totally out of date. You know what I mean?
I'm not joking. This isn't me being a smartass. They're massively underpaying you. I mean, massively underpaying you for what market rate is right now. They think they've got a sucker in their midst because you should be making a lot more money. Like I said, when you took that call, I haven't made $12 an hour in over a decade.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was when I was working part-time at Menards when I first started. Like, they're not paying you enough money. And they need to wake up to the fact that people are going to start leaving for other jobs because literally everyone else pays at least $2 to $3 minimum more an hour.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, if at minimum, like, you start, like, let's say you start at, like, $11 an hour, let's just say. And it's like, if you're looking at that going, wait a minute, I can have just as menial a job working at a grocery store for $5 to $7 more than what you're offering me right now. Well, right. Go. So, yeah. And I think that's a lot of the times that's, like, what people, like, come into this with. It's like, oh, we'll try this out, and if it doesn't work, I can go somewhere else and get paid more.
I wouldn't even look at your job. Your job is... I wouldn't want to do anything close to your job for as little as they're paying you. I would be like, you people are insane if they told me $12 an hour. I'd be like, you got to be paying at least 15 minimum, probably more than that, 18 to 20.
Let me see. Let me actually do something really quick. So I'm going to pop out. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Need to get off the iPad because it's like 10%.
Right.
Now that I'm off. But looking at this, I should be able to look up something really quick now, because now that I have Teams on my computer, it goes faster than what's on Citrix. Yes. I have to remember. Alright. Fuck. Alright. Come on now. Text. Because I should still have... Okay. I should still have shared... Time off request was approved. Yay! Labor law. Employee we appreciate you. Thank you. I don't give a fuck. Okay, so that is that. I haven't looked at this email in a while. St. Jude Dream Home, USJ links. Yeah, St. Jude. Don't take calls for that anymore. There's some stuff in here that I need to review. But interesting. She shared that with me. So let me scroll a little bit. This should have been, when was this? There we go. And so this should scroll. So it's also based on performance. So I got the one, so it looks, so my current, at the time of my review, which was, I can't remember when, it was like last month maybe, I was making $11.80 an hour with a $2.20 differential. And now I'm making $11.95 with a $2.55 differential. So I'm almost, and this was back in January, so I'm almost at $12 an hour. Almost there. But again, this is like, with everything they're having me do, it's like, really, you guys aren't paying me more? Or with everything you fucking try, like, I've been trained on like 10 different, like, programs. And it's like, really, guys, like, please. Yay. Alright. Let's forward that, because I should be forwarding this to myself. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't necessarily feel like tilting against some of these people, because it's just like, that's why I'm like, at some point I'm like, because I'm like, well, I could, if, because like I said, like at some point we're gonna have the conversation of, especially since I'm the one who holds the insurance, of, well, once Jeff, our hubby, finishes paying off his student loans and or his car, well, do I really have to work? Do I need to work? Would I go crazy because I'm not working? And for me, it's like, I think I would want to do something. So that's why I'm like, I feel like I would want to set up a creator account on Patreon and...
Right.
And, start... And someone actually asked me, because I was sharing some of the stuff I was writing. They're like, do you do commissions? I'm like, I never really thought about it. Like, I would actually have to make a list of, like, hard no's, like, I will not write this, or this, and actually, like, figure out, like, how much do I charge people?
Right.
So, there's that. So, it's just a whole big... And there's a position where that I might go in for being a workspace trainer. So I'm like, yeah. I was like, I might do that. I might not do that. I'm just kind of like,
You do what you gotta do, Mish. I'm just telling you, you're being massively underpaid at this point.
Definitely we'll be looking at some stuff here moving forward. So I'm like, if 19-year-olds are making like $6-7 more than me, yeah,
No. A 17-year-old high school student working part-time is making more than you are. You don't want to know what the full-timers and I are making.
Yeah, I don't. Because, yeah. I know people told me that, like, way back when I was with Verizon, and I'm just sitting there going, then they would have to pay my supervisor more.
And they should.
And they should. But are they going to? Probably not.
Well, but here's the thing, Mish. If they're paying you so little, they're not paying your supervisor enough. Eventually, there's not going to be anybody working at your company if they keep this up, because the wages keep going up. Eventually, they're either going to have to fold, or they're going to have to own up to the fact that they can't pay people slave wages for a job as difficult as yours. Like, I'm not having this conversation anymore with people, because they're like, well, if they pay you more, then they got to pay EMTs more. Well, they should pay EMTs more. That's a hard job. They should pay paramedics and firefighters more money. What the hell?
Yeah, they should.
You shouldn't be asking why they're paying the kid flipping your burgers more. They should be asking why they aren't paying you more.
Exactly. Yeah.
And to be dead honest, most of the time, it ain't even kids flipping your burgers at this point. It's grown-ass adults. We treat people working service like dog shit. And I'm honestly tired of it. We treat everybody working service jobs like they're fucking cogs in a machine. And you know what? I'm tired of it being called unskilled labor. It's not unskilled labor. Do you know how much training I put my guys through? You know how much training I go through? We are not unskilled labor. And every time they call us that, my eyes glaze over because I have to fight back the urge to stab them to death.
Yeah.
Because they'll go, you guys don't know anything, yet you're still asking me for advice.
Exactly. And it's like, well, that's why I also, like, I agree with the fact of, someone had pointed, like, so I'm kind of paraphrasing here. Everyone should work a fucking service job at some point in their life to know exactly what people go through. Because I've worked a service job for a very, very long time.
Right.
And I've worked retail, and there's some jobs where I'm like, because I worked retail, I'm like, unless I absolutely have to, I am not working food retail. Like, if I had to, I would. But food retail, dealing with a hungry public, oh, fuck no. Fuck that shit, no. Dealing with the public is hard enough when they're like, where's my shit? And that's why I'm glad that I work behind a computer screen and I can allow my eyes to glaze over and flip off the fucking computer screen, because I can't do that when I'm in person. And people are like, I've actually been told by customers or whatever, stop apologizing. If I don't apologize, I get docked. Like, and even hubby, like, before we start working from home, he's like, and then we start working from home, and he's like, now I understand why you apologize so much. I'm like, yeah. Because for one client, one of the first things, as soon as they're like, you're like, how can I help you? And they go, I have this issue. One of the first things you say, I do apologize. Like, I apologize to you. I'm so sorry that happened. I'm so sorry that was missing. I'm so sorry. I'm like, yep, that's why I apologize so goddamn much. It's because I apologize so goddamn much at work. It's ingrained in my fucking skull. And it's just... And, like, oh my god, and when I was getting my new phone, okay, I should not have had this interaction with this lady. This Apple employee, okay, should not have had to say this to me. And it's, like, making me tear up. I was like, oh, no worries, like, I understand, you know, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it takes some time. And she's like, dude, like, thank you so much. Like, people just don't understand. Like, she was thanking me for being patient and understanding. I'm like, I'm so sorry for you. I'm like, yeah, I worked retail for like 10 years. I completely understand. Like, I guess earlier in her shift, like, they had somebody throwing a goddamn temper tantrum. And I'm like, like, that's why I, like, completely understand. Like, I am patient to a point. But, you know, as long as I know, like, hey, this is going to take as long as it takes, and because I'm getting a new phone. And I need to look at the phones, we need to talk about the phones, what am I looking for in the phone,
Right.
then we need to decide what color, and do we want to, you know, are we going to transfer it here, and then we got to wait for the transfer, you know, like, yeah. So, yeah. That's why I'm like, I shouldn't be hearing that from you. And I am, and it's unfortunate because I know it happens all the goddamn time. And it makes me sad. That's why, especially like when we go out to eat, it's like, you take your time. Like, I don't care. As long as it doesn't take, you know, an ungodly amount of time.
Well, as long as they're upfront with you about it. I mean, that's really the thing. Like, you don't want to be told 20 minutes, an hour and a half later, they walk back with the food, and you're like, what happened? And they're like, oh, sorry, it took too long. It's like, well, just tell me that so we can make a decision about whether we're going to keep going or not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my whole thing. Like, I don't care if they're like, I was like, that was my whole thing like a couple months ago with the pizzas where they had a medical emergency. If they had called me when they got the store open and said, hey, Mr. Cupcake, you still want those pizzas? I would have been like, yeah, sure. I'm like, just let me, like, you know, want me to come back in 20 minutes, an hour? Like, what do we got? And I would have come back and got the pizzas. Instead, they were like, you know, it was just a shit show. And I'm not blaming the people. I'm like, you know, where is like the communication?
Yeah.
I mean, my thing wasn't even that I didn't get the pizzas, that they refused to give me my money back. They're like, well, you just never picked the pizzas up. I'm like, you never told me you made them. You never completed the order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Right. But I'm still amused by the fact that I am fucking banned from that particular location for life.
Nice.
I like that Kiki like burst into laughter at that.
Tell it like it is.
I'm not banned from the company. I'm just banned from that particular location, which I don't normally use anyway. But, like, what?
Yeah. I was just... So... Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the president's gonna speak to President.
Oh, the president of the United States is going to speak to the president of Ukraine?
Of China.
Oh.
I was trying to figure out how to say his name, and then I gave up.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I can't say his name right either. Jesus. All right, well, here we go. World War III. Come on.
Yeah, it's like that meme where it's like we millennials, when they go through 2 recessions, like a war, like 2 wars, or like a war and like a pandemic, and then possible World War III, and it's like, oh fuck.
Yay, millennials!
Right.
And we're all just here going like, just fucking kill me now, please. Kill me now.
No, we're too stubborn.
No.
But, like, going back to it, way back to it, because it just came across my newsfeed for some reason. The Batman was great, even though it was really long.
That's what I'm told.
But, like, all those scenes were necessary, so it was worth it to sit there, and I went to a theater where they have really comfortable seats, so it didn't matter.
Right.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's why, like, I wanted to make it a point for at least Dune to see it in theaters, because I was like, this is one where I feel like I need to see it on the big screen before I see it, like, on a computer screen or a TV screen or even, like, a tablet screen. I'm just like, I feel like it's required, like, I need to go do this. And, I kind of laughed because my older brother finally started reading Dune, and he's like, I kind of had to get past the first chapter, but I'm finally into it. I was like, good. And I was laughing because I'm like, that was me with God Emperor. Like, I had to get past, like, the first couple chapters before, like, I was like, okay.
Some shit is just like that. You gotta grit your teeth and hold on, because it's gonna get good eventually. I hate shit like that, but yeah.
That's the Bulgarian for me. The first book, the first, like, 3 chapters talk about the history of the world and fucking the main character's childhood as a small boy. It's like, what is going on? Although, to be fair, having listened to the first book in Lord of the Rings, like, I've been listening to it for about 5 or 6 hours, and they are just getting to the prancing pony.
Oh boy.
There's a lot. I forgot how much, like, shit happens. Like, they go on a whole side adventure in the woods before they get to
the Fellowship?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, wait a minute. I thought you were talking about The Hobbit. And I'm like, wait a minute.
No, the prancing pony, like, when they meet Aragorn. Yeah. Like, they're just getting there, and I've been listening to it for, like, 2 weeks on my drives and back and forth to work and, like, on lunch and stuff. Like, they had a whole thing with Tom Bombadil that, like, went on for, like, 2-3 hours.
Yeah, like, that's the thing is that, like, what people don't realize, again, a lot of this is between the books and the movies, like, there's a lot of stuff sometimes that people don't realize, but, like, it's not, like, a few months between, Bilbo's birthday party and then Gandalf coming back. No, it's like a span of, like, 20 to 30 years before he's, like, Gandalf comes back.
Yeah, I would say he's, like, in his 30s and he's in his 50s when they leave.
Yeah.
Frodo is 30 when the birthday happens, and he's in his 50s when they leave Hobbiton.
Yeah, and then also, like, the whole Tom Bombadil adventure thing, they get stuck in the white when they're going to
Barrow Whites.
Yeah, the Barrow Whites, they get stuck in those on their way to Weathertop.
No. Barrow Whites is before they get to the prancing pony, because Weathertop is after that, because Aragorn is with them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wait a minute, so Weathertop is after the prancing pony.
So here's what happens. They have an adventure across the fields of Hobbiton. They stop at old farmer Maggott's house.
Yes.
Him and his wife feed them. They then travel to I forget what it is, the like Merryweather Hall or whatever.
Buck Hall or something?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Buck Hall. They go to Buck Hall for like a night. They then take the back gate out of there to the Lost Forest, where after traveling for a few hours, they are attacked by Old Man Willow, which is like a sentient willow tree. Their screams bring Tom Bombadil to them. He causes the willow to basically spit them back up. They follow him to his house. They have a whole thing with him for like a week at his house, where he tells them stories and his origin. They talk about the ring. They then leave on a trip. They're not gone for a day when they're attacked by Barrow-wights and like pulled into the den. And then, like, in a moment of sanity, fucking Frodo sings the song that Tom told him to sing. So Tom comes, and Tom's like, well, shit. If this happened and you were only 8 hours, like only a day's walk from my house, I'm going to take you the rest of the way to the Prancing Pony. Because clearly shit's going to keep trying to eat you. So he takes them like to the road right outside the town that the Prancing Pony's in. And I literally got to the point where they just sat down inside the Prancing Pony.
Okay, like, it's been a while since I've read the book, so that's why I'm like, oh yeah.
No, you're good. I'm like, oh, and there's a whole thing, there's a whole thing between leaving Hobbiton and Farmer Maggot and getting to Buck Hall, where they're being chased by the Dark Riders, and some wood elves take them in for the night.
Oh yeah, that's right, that happens too.
Like, the only reason the leader takes them in is because Frodo speaks enough Elvish to talk to him in, like, basic sentences. He's like, I have not heard these words from someone of your size in, eons, basically. And he's like, you are our honored guest tonight.
Yeah.
And, like, all of this is about them trying to avoid the Dark Riders, who are literally canvassing Hobbiton, trying to find Frodo in the ring. Because they haven't brought up the fact that they're drawn to the ring yet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's 2 o'clock.
They'll stink. Yes, it'd be 2 o'clock for Kiki.
Well, I gotta get ready to go see my mom.
Alright, we're calling it.
Yep.
Alright.
Thanks for pausing with me.
Yeah.
Welcome to Toodaloo, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you once again for listening to the super happy fun Jabbertron Tea Party podcast with Kiki, Cupcake, and Miss. Stay safe, and farewell my fellow internet beings.